How you guys doing? So somebody asked me, "Am I a free-to-play player?" So, and I told them I'm not a free-to-play player, but I'm not a whale in the game. So that means if you don't know what a whale means a person that spends a lot of money in Marble Contest of Champions. So here are my thoughts about being a free-to-play and spending money in the game. Like I mentioned before, I did say this before that everybody should spend at least $5 a month playing this game because it's only fair for the people who actually spend money in the game. Because what happens if they do that means that the game could be so much better, you know, for Kabam to make the game because they're gonna have hire more people and spend more time in the game because other people are contributing to the game, like at least $5 a month. I also think that for people who spend money in the game, it benefits them because it's gonna make things a lot cheaper than they are if they were charging $5 at least a game a month for the game. So I think it's everybody, in my opinion, should be spending at least $5 a month to play this game. Then again, if you're not a serious player, is it worth spending $5 in the game? That is that's a bit questionable, right? You're probably gonna play it for a month and then you're gonna decide, you know, do I want to play this game now? Really, right? And I think that's probably the biggest reason why Kabam makes a lot of money in this game because it is a free to play player. It's kind of crazy. Like it's a free to play. Why they're making so much money? It's because of people that are free to play. I mean, they get hooked into the game. And then they want to start spending money. That's how it is. And let's say if you were like going to the gym and you were paying for it, you know, you don't mind. You're never gonna cancel your gym membership. But if you're paying like only even $5 a month, if you're not gonna use it, are you gonna cancel it? Yeah, of course you're gonna cancel it, right? Yes, it does make people to give incentivized to play the game if you're not a free to play player. Because I'm paying $5 a month. Why would I not go to the gym, right? So it does kind of benefit some way, right? Because some people who were have to be who has to pay $5 a month, they're kind of like, okay, I want to play. Of course, that's kind of like saying like I don't want to do it anymore. Eventually, you're gonna lose some people because some people like I'm tired of this game. I'm bored, so I don't want to pay $5 a month to play this game anymore. And then they'll just shut it off completely. And for Kabam, that's not good, right? So that's why I think for Kabam, it's obviously money strategy. They need free to play players because if free to play players are not, there are no free to play players to play the game, then there won't be much competition. It's just people who can spend the most money. That's all it's gonna be in the game. Even though the game kind of is like that, it's not as bad compared to being like you know like you kind of like have to be forced to spend money in the game. It's like, man, I'm spending, you kind of like saying if it wasn't a free to play game, you're gonna say I'm gonna spend $5-10 a month on this, and then I'm not even like, when I compare myself to all these people like spending $1,000 a month, I'm like, man, I'm not even like, look at their roster, look at their, I can't even compete with these people, in Alliance War, stuff like that. And you're gonna be discouraged. And like I mentioned, like people who spend money don't spend money in the game, like Brian Grant, uh, he's kind of like, okay, I don't want to spend money in the game, but at the same time, I want to be competitive. And there are a lot of people like Brian Grant who play this game that are competitive that don't spend money in the game, which actually good for Kabam because they they need those people to be able to, for this game to be competitive, and that's why they make so much money, because the game is so competitive. you know Even free to play players, even though they really don't have much of a chance against people who spend thousands of dollars, they still have some a slim hope of a chance to compete, and that's why the Kabam makes money. Like I mentioned before, if everybody spend money in the game, it's just not even going to be a competition. It's just a competition who spends the most money in the game. That's why it is a free to play uh, game. But another thing I want to mention is, like, who do you think, in my opinion, this is my opinion, who do I think enjoy the game most? I think the people who are free to play players who play this game enjoy the game the most. But there's a catch to it. Just I think the people, I don't know if you guys ever heard low expectation, expect less, get more. Uh, some of you might have heard of it, but people who play the game and not a competitive way are the people who enjoy the game the most. Let's say they have a 6 star and they got a 6 star Groot or something, instead of a Doctor Doom. Like, are they gonna be disappointed? No, not really. I mean, sure, they would rather have a Doctor Doom than a Groot, but at the same time, you're like, yeah, whatever, it's not a big deal. If they get a Doctor Doom, they're gonna be happy for sure. But some people who gets a 6 star Groot, it's not a big deal. And maybe for some, they're gonna say, wow, look at me, and I got a 6 star, because they're not expecting, and they're not expecting, they don't have a high expectation in the game. And when it comes to, like, free to play players who have high expectation, who are very competitive, I think they're the ones who actually have the least amount of fun playing the game, because they want to compete against people who spend money in the game, but in realistically, they can never be that, competitive against these people who spend thousands of dollars a month in the game. They just can't compete. It's just not reality, because if they do that, then what's the point of Kabam, uh, you know selling softwares or whatever, what do you want to call it, crystals, rank up materials? There wouldn't be any point if a free to play player can compete with against people who spend thousands of dollars a month. So so the thing is, I would say that people who are the most happy, in my opinion, to play the game are the people who are free to play, that have very, very little expectation. Like, they don't care who they get, they're just happy that they play the game and it's fun. Versus when you're like a free to play player and you're competing, you have high expectation. You're kind of like, it's almost like it feels like a job. You're not having fun. You're just having like, oh, I want to get this champion, and I gotta spend like 4 hours a day playing the game and to compete. And they're always gonna envy all those people who spend money in the game. Look at them. Here I am grinding in the arena. 20 hours a week for a 5 star, and they can just spend $1,000 to get a 6 star of that champion. Like Odin is a good example of that. Odin's gonna come in the arena. There are free to play players like Brian Grant, who's gonna spend 20, maybe 30 hours playing the game, and then they end up getting the 5 star. And then people who spend money in the game, like, oh yeah, spend $1,000, I'll get myself a 6 star. It's almost like, it's like you're that person that always competing with these people who spend money. You're like, oh no, I just you have that jealousy. You feel jealous that you wish you were that person, but you don't want to spend money, so you're not gonna spend money, and you're just gonna be like, you're always gonna envy those people. That's what I think. So what do I think about the people who do spend money in the game? Like, for the whales, I think they're happy that they do spend. It depends on how much money. It really can vary. Like, I'm assuming people who do spend thousands of dollars a month on this game are all millionaires, if not very close to it, or and they have the means for it. So I think most of them, but some of them don't, which is a problem for some, right? But I don't know. I think people who do spend thousands of dollars a month, they're not always gonna get the champion they want. They're like, I just spent $1,000. I didn't even get the 6-star Odin, and they're like, they gotta be very, very disappointed. They're gonna have obviously their highs and lows, but if you're gonna spend X amount, that much amount of money, like thousands of dollars a month, you're gonna have very high expectation. And you can pull a 5-star Odin and spend $1,000, and you might not be happy with it. Oh my God, I spent $1,000 for a 5-star Odin. You might, like they might not be happy with it. So I think there is some satisfaction spending money in the game, but when you spend so much money in the game, you kind of have very, very high expectation, which a lot of times, fortunately, you're gonna be disappointed when you do like open 1,000 Cavalier crystals or something, or 500 or something like that, or you buy an offer and you're hoping to get the champion you want, but you end up not getting it. So yeah, so I think, what about the people who spend money like me but don't spend a lot of money? I think there's a mixture of both. I mean, I do feel like I'm just here to contribute for the game. Like it's only fair in my opinion to spend money in the game, because who's paying these people who to run the game? Somebody's got to pay them, right? I feel good about that. And I do get disappointed when I don't get the champions I want. Like I spend a lot of money to get even just a 5-star, not a 6-star, 5-star Apocalypse, and I still haven't gotten him. So yeah, I'm definitely disappointed, but I don't have, very high expectation. Like if I don't get it, I can wait maybe 3 or 6 months. I eventually get that champion. So definitely there's gonna be some highs and lows as well, but I'm not gonna be like super, down about it if I don't get a certain champion, But I do definitely like if I get Apocalypse, especially as a 6-star, because he doesn't really need his awakening ability. I'm gonna be very, very happy. I'm like, oh, I spend, like $20 to get a 6-star Apocalypse. I'm very happy with that. That's gonna be a good day for me personally. Even a 5-star Apocalypse, if I spend $20 to get a 5-star Apocalypse, I'd be happy with that too. I mean, I'm not gonna be as happy as getting a 6-star, but I still gonna be like, whoa, I finally got a 5-star Apocalypse. So I think obviously I'm gonna be happy as a person who spend money, but not that much money. But I won't be, certainly gonna be disappointed if I don't get the champions I want. But I'm not gonna be so disappointed. So yeah, those are my thoughts. What are you guys' thoughts about free to play versus people who actually spend money in the game? Thank you.